court's ruling says you can't discriminate on the basis of sex, which in 1964 meant male or female, but sex now means both your sexual orientation and your gender identity. LGBTQ groups are rejoicing. The organization Out and Equal announced the Supreme Court has made its statement. Our bedrock civil rights protections do apply to LGBTQ workers. This is a momentous day for the community. Judicial Crisis Network's Carrie Severino suggested the justices had to really twist the meaning of sex discrimination to include these new categories.
It's very clear that however people might read that today in 2020, that is nowhere near how those words were understood in 1964 and for many decades thereafter.
The case involved homosexuals fired from their jobs and a man who wanted to identify as a woman fired from his job at a funeral home. But the case has broad implications outside the workplace.
Is it going to be discrimination to not use a preferred pronoun? Will employers now be required to cover health care when it comes to different transition-related things? What about religious employers?
Things like bathroom usage. Things like whether women's sports can continue to exist as we know it if they're forced to allow men to participate in those same sports. A lot of religious freedom questions.
Alliance Defending Freedom's Kate Anderson represented a women's shelter in Alaska.
It had to allow a biological man who identified as female into the shelter where he would sleep mere feet from women, many of whom had been abused, trafficked, raped. These are women who, because of their past trauma, really couldn't be around a biological male while they slept.
As for people of faith, Tony Perkins at the Family Research Council warned this ruling poses a grave threat to religious liberty. And Southern Baptist Convention's Russell Moore predicts years of lawsuits and court struggles. Paul Strand, CBN News, Washington.